When I was 13, 14, I was 2 pills away from nearly taking my own life. Flash forward, I'm 19 and I'm married, up 50 pounds out of anorexia, cured my social anxiety. That being said, I'm still not where I want to be. I still have more weight to gain. I still have more friends to make. I still have more to do, and I still have a YouTube channel and movement to build. So I'm going to teach you the 6 things that I've done or am currently doing to finally stop feeling like I am not wasting the time God has given me. So the first thing I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to start implementing what I call the scaffolding method. Maybe you got into self-improvement and wanting to better your life through watching a YouTuber, and you look at these videos, you look at this person, and you talk to them and you watch them, and they're telling you about these huge things, these life-changing transformational moments that happen to them. And so you think, for you to finally stop feeling like you're wasting your time, you have to go out there and do these huge life-changing steps, take these huge sacrifices. And this leads you to have these weeks of consistency and then have these months and years of failure. I got into self-improvement through Hamza, by the way, and he was talking about all these things that half of it I don't even agree with anymore, but these huge habits. Oh, he meditates an hour a day. He takes cold showers every day. All these huge habits. Mind you, I'm a depressed kid. I'm 14, so socially anxious I can't order my own McDonald's. Terrible mental health. I was barely brushing my teeth every day. I was 89 pounds, 50 pounds underweight, chronically anorexic. I was playing video games every single hour of my life. My life sucked. And I thought that I was going to go from this person into somebody who was completely healed, trying to aim for the big stuff when you haven't even learned how to brush your teeth every day. When you haven't even learned how to get out of bed at the same time every day, is ruining your life. If I asked you to learn how to build a skyscraper within the next 10 years, let's say, would you learn how to build a skyscraper by just trying to build the skyscraper over and over again? Or learning how to build the foundation of a skyscraper and then the basic framing? Which one do you think a smart, reasonable person would do? Obviously, one option's clear, but your life is like a skyscraper, and yet you're trying to build this skyscraper without even learning how to build a shed. And so for me personally, I'm focusing on the small stuff in my life right now, making sure the room is clean and making sure my house is clean when I leave and before I go to bed. By making sure the small stuff is getting done, I have noticed more and more that the big stuff is just aligning itself and getting itself done for me. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get serious about my video game character. So you ever play some of these games that I think we've all played in our life, like NBA 2K, Mortal Kombat, Smash Bros, and they have these character selection screens over 2K, which I never played, but my big brother played it all the time. You have like make your own character selection screen. And you always gravitate to a character, or you make your own character in the same kind of way. When I was playing Mario Kart, I would always use Baby Luigi or Luigi. I've been a Luigi fanboy since from fucking remember. It's the characters I would always gravitate to. It sounds kind of funny, but what I've noticed is that a lot of men are stuck in the character selection screen, the character customization screen. And a lot of men's lives are being ruined simply because they don't know this simple truth. They are trying to be someone. When I was younger, my mom told me that I would, at 2 or 3 years old, dress up with a suit, get a little suitcase that I would borrow from my dad and walk around the house. And then she would always ask me, what's up with you? Where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you dressing up like this? And she thought I was on the spectrum. She thought I was autistic. And then one day I told her, I was like, oh, I'm just taking care of my 2 daughters. I gotta go work so I can pay for my 2 daughters things I have to buy them and their food and their housing. I have to make sure I work so that I can keep my wife at home and keep my wife stable. I was 2, 3 years old with fantasies of being that husband that kept his wife at home and was the hero to his family and the kids were excited to come back to. I've always just wanted to be a hero to my people. And it's hard to describe the exact somebody I want to be, but we all have that somebody. And the more we spend doing things that aren't aligned with that somebody, the more we feel like we're going to be wasting our life. In fact, in my opinion, that feeling of wasting your life is just every moment you're doing something that isn't aligned with that somebody. I want to be that guy. And if being that guy takes killing the old me, the me that's not actually the person I've been striving to be my whole life, then that's what I have to do. And that's what you have to do. Real quickly, before we get to number 3, I want to talk to you about Ascent School, where right now I'm giving away a completely free about 30-page document where I review everything I know about actually cutting your screen time down. When I was younger, I used to have a 12-hour average screen time. I was on TikTok all day, and I remember being so dopamine addicted that I couldn't even go to sleep without something playing in the background. Fast forward to now, and on my worst weeks, my screen time average is 2 hours. And this 30-page guide that I'm giving away free can help you achieve the same results. Right now, join the community. It's completely free. To incentivize you even more, I'm giving a 55% discount off my premium product that I will launch within this community, which I'm not going to reveal the price yet and exactly what it is, But let's just say if you do this now, because it's a limited time for the first 250 people, you can save yourself over $600 per year. Let's get back into the video. So, number 3, I'm going to make failure impossible. Probably seen the question, what would you do if you really had to make it? And I've always struggled with that question. And I'm gonna be honest, I've always fucking hated that question. That question always pissed me off because I'm always someone that wants to pride myself in doing whatever it takes to fucking make it. And just a couple days ago, I remember thinking to myself and asking myself this exact question. I was like, what would I do if I had to make it? And I realized just how large the discrepancy between what I would need to do to make failure impossible and where I am. And that really fucking bothered me. Because think about all the men you look up to. Think David Goggins, for example. When David Goggins goes on a run, and he's going on a 20, 30-mile run, and you've heard the fucking stories of this man. This man is a fucking different breed of human. And when he broke his shins, I remember reading, he just wrapped them in tape and he kept going. He was literally running and literally shit himself and kept running. And look how many people look up to him. Look how many views his podcasts get. Look how many views his shorts get. Look how many men look up to him, have his merch, have his book. Look how many people idolize this man simply because he makes failure impossible at every moment. And so ask yourself, just like I asked me, what would you do if you were to do that? Your life would change. Number 4, I'm going to focus on rewiring my mind. Your brain is your worst enemy or your ally. So very recently, I've been experimenting with the power of rewiring your mind and just how much control it gives you over your life. One of the greatest examples that's been happening recently in my life is that I take creatine every morning. And there was a morning where I just didn't want to take it. I just kept hesitating, kept forgetting about it. But every time I would forget or hesitate about it, my mind would just think a singular repetitive thought that I wired into my brain. And that was, there is no point in delaying the inevitable. I knew I was going to take this creatine eventually. Why delay it? I'm waking up at 4:30. Why delay it till 5 if I know I'm gonna take it eventually? And the more I wait, the more it's gonna suck. So I might do it now. And so I've been experimenting with the power of rewiring your mind. And I've realized that if you can rewire your mind to stop wasting your life, you will stop wasting your life. One good way that I found to rewire my mind specifically that's helped with not wasting my life is to cut out all negative input. Your brain works like a garden, right? Yeah, you can plant your own seeds, but at the end of the day, you can't control seeds blowing into your garden. And so if you were to leave it there, you would think you have no power as a gardener. But a gardener can still decide which seeds he nurtures and which seeds he waters. And so that's how your brain works. You can't decide what input your brain takes in. Whatever you see, hear, touch, feel, that's what your brain is going to take in. But you can decide what you expose your brain to. And by doing that, you do control your brain. The last 2 things to cover, I'm going to cover them as one because it's so simple. I'm going to do it messy and I'm going to have fun. You don't have to be a jackass. You don't have to be boring. You don't have to cut out all your friends. All your friends have been with you your entire life. You don't have to be a prick to change your life. You also don't have to be perfect. Perfectionism has ruined my life. It has ruined friendships. It has ruined some of the greatest, most cherished bonds I've had in my life. I've lost hella progress to seek perfectionism. And so I'm done with that. I'm done with trying to do it boring and trying to act like I have to be locked in a closet 24/7 to actually make it in life. I'm done acting like I have to be perfect to stop feeling like I'm wasting my life. I'm just gonna try and I'm gonna keep trying and I'm gonna do it messy and I'm gonna do it fun and I'm gonna go on weekly adventures and I'm gonna go on dates with my wife and I'm gonna go on adventures with my friends and talk to my friends and work out with my friends and I'm gonna do it the way I like. And I'm gonna embrace my failures and I'm gonna embrace my shortcomings. I'm gonna embrace the fact that I'm me and I have certain issues that make it harder for me to do certain things. I'm gonna work around that and I'm gonna get better and better. And I'm gonna stop wasting my life. And I hope that if you implement these 6 steps into your life, that you'll stop wasting yours too.